and welcome to everybody. Let me start our program by welcoming everyone to Freetown. Thank you all for being here. For being here today. And I want to personally thank John, Maureen, and Molly Trahan for allowing me to be their Master of Ceremonies for this dedication program today. It is truly an honor for me. For those that may not know who I am, my name is Dan LeBlanc, and I am the Director of Veteran Services and the Veterans Agent for Freetown. With us today to present and assist in presenting the colors, we have the color guards from 4 veterans organizations. First, from the Freetown Veterans of Foreign Wars Memorial Post 6643, the New Bedford Vietnam Veterans of America Chapter 499, the Greater New Bedford Marine Corps League Detachment 1399, the Patriot Guard Riders, and Rolling Thunder are all represented here today. I would ask now that you all please rise, face the American flag of your choice, and please uncover. Unless you are a veteran undercover, you may salute or place your hand over your heart for the playing of our national anthem by the Navy Band. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, and please repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing and uncover for the invocation presented by Father Greg Mathis from St. John Newman Catholic Church. Father Mathis.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we evoke your presence among us as we pray today. Bless all of us who are here. We commend to your gracious and protective care and benevolent keeping all the men and the women of our armed forces who are at home or abroad. Please, Lord, defend them day by day with your guiding hand and heavenly grace. Please encourage them and strengthen them in their trials, temptations, and discouragements. Grant them your abiding presence wherever they may be. Help us always to remember their sacrifices as we remember today Tyler Trahan and all those others who have given so much and their families. We make all these prayers in your holy name, who live forever and ever.
Thank you. Please be seated. I told Maureen and John that I would try to keep, and Molly, that I would try to keep this program as brief as possible. But for a man as well liked as Tyler, that was a chore. So let me start by introducing the guests that are with us today, as well as the many people we have to thank for bringing this all together. I would like to first recognize those who are here today to assist us with the program. First with us today are Lieutenant Governor Timothy Murray, Secretary of Transportation Richard Davey, Deputy Secretary for Administration and Finance for the Department of Veteran Services from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and retired Naval Captain Mr. Ken Turner. From the State Senate, we have Senator Michael Rodericks. From the House of Representatives, we have State Representative Paul Schmid. I was also asked to add that former State Representative Mr. David Sullivan, who with former Representative Mr. Stephen Canessa, along with the tremendous efforts of Senator Rodrick, were the authors of the House resolution to name the roundabout after Tyler. Mr. Canessa was unable to attend today, however, because of family matters, and he asked that we extend to the Trahan family his deepest regrets and appreciation for Tyler's sacrifice. Here today representing SERPED, the Southeastern Planning and Regional Development Authority, is Mr. Jim Hatfield. Thanks to SERPED, who are responsible for the development and printing of our programs today. Thanks also to District 5 for their work on the Roundabout project. And here with us today, there are two men who worked very hard on the project. Retired from District 5 and resident of Freetown, Mr. Bob Gregory. I know he's here. Along with another town resident and current District 5 engineer, Mr. Bill Travers. Along with them is the Director of Engineers, Mr. John Raposo. Representing the town of Freetown today, we have Selectman and Chairman of the Board, Mr. Paul Sadek. And Selectman Lee Baumgartner. Here somewhere. Lee was in the hospital recently out of areas. Selectwoman Lisa Pacheco wasn't able to attend due to her daughter's college graduation today and asked me to extend her regrets to the family. And I quote, "Jean, Maureen, and Molly, what a beautiful day for a celebration. And I wish I could be here, but parent sacrifice does not allow. This shall forever memorialize the life of Tyler. Every time we enter or exit the roundabout, its daily sacrifices made on behalf of our country. Thank you for giving us your son in this moment." Lisa. Also with us today, we have some very special guests joining us who are also present. Some of this country's and the Navy's finest are here with us today. Lieutenant Commander Jason Wallace, Lieutenant John Corky, who is currently the officer in charge in Newport, Lieutenant Chris Kowalczyk, who went through EOD school with Tyler. EOD, Explosive Ordnance Disposal Technician, and Officer Candidate Matt Walther. EOD Senior Chief Joe Nault. EOD Chief Charles Wayne. EOD Chief Mark Johnston. EOD Petty Officer First Class John Hanrahan, who also went through EOD school with Tyler. And if I missed anybody, I apologize. As well as other active duty military representatives here today. And the music provided for us today is the Navy's Northeast Ceremonial Band from Newport, Rhode Island, and they are directed by musician First Class Eric Snitver. We thank you for being here and playing for us today. I would like to personally thank also Miss Lisa Rama, Public Relations at the Newport Naval Base, for her assistance and putting up with me. Not sure if he's here. Here representing the Army and soon to retire, he is currently the Dartmouth recruiter, Sergeant First Class and Desert Storm veteran, Sergeant James Kudo. Jim here? No? Also here, the Navy recruiter from Dartmouth, David Levesque. I want to personally say welcome home to all of our Navy and Army brothers and sisters. A thank you also goes to the Cub Scout Pack 64 from Freetown for assisting with the distribution of our programs and flags today. A lot of people helped put this together, it wasn't just me. Another thank you for helping today goes to the singers from Apponequet Regional High School, and we have two of them here today from the Sandpipers and the Tribesmen Chorus at Apponequet High School. I also want to recognize some people who showed up today. I don't want to miss anybody, but I've got to take a chance. Former Mayor of New Bedford, Scott Lang, is here. I know Scott's here somewhere. Councilor David Alves is here. Vietnam Era veteran. Councilor John Saunders is here. And former City Councilor George Rogers is also here. And the Director of Veteran Services for the City of New Bedford, Chris Gomes, is here. Thank you also for being here, my brothers from the Patriot Guard Riders. And thanks as well for providing spiritual guidance for us goes to Father Greg Mathis from St. John Newman Church. And lastly, special thanks goes to the Freetown Police and Fire Departments for their support, as well as the Freetown Highway Department. And special thanks to Mr. Richard Padelford for allowing us to use his property here today. And I'm remiss if I don't thank the State Police for their presence here today as well to support the Trahan family. Now I'd like to introduce to you our first guest speaker for today's program. It is my very distinct pleasure and my honor to introduce to you the Lieutenant Governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Lieutenant Governor Timothy Murray. Governor. Good afternoon, and what a great day. When I left Worcester, I didn't know quite what to expect on my way here today, but this is awesome. It really, really is. And Tyler, I think you all, people that knew him and loved him and taught him and served with him, know that better than I do. But it's awesome to see our men and women in uniform who are here. Thank you for your service. To our veterans, to Tyler's family, John, Maureen, and Molly, for what they've given us. They not only gave this country, this Commonwealth, and the South Coast an incredible young man who touched so many lives, but they gave this country an American hero in every sense of the word. I had a chance, and I was just telling Maureen, I wanted to make sure I was right, but I was at Old Colony Vocational Technical High School visiting not too long ago. And I walked in the hallway on the doors of the school, and right up there was Tyler's picture, framed with his football jersey. In so many ways, he was a leader by example. And it is appropriate that when someone who is leading, and leading in a way that puts himself in harm's way for our behalf, that we remember, that we support the family, we support those who served alongside of him, and that we teach younger generations. And that's the other thing that is great here, to see the young people, the scouts, recognizing a role model that we want our young people to emulate and be like, and grow up to be like. I want to thank all the people who've made this day possible. Secretary Davey from our Mass Department of Transportation, Dan LeBlanc, who mentioned so many of the people here. Our veterans are incredible in so many respects, not only by virtue of their service, but so many of them throughout the course of their lives go the extra mile in making sure that those who come after them in serving our military are welcomed home, are remembered, organizing, reminding, educating the broader community about what that special 1% do on our behalf. The people that do it every day at the state level, our Department of Veteran Services, want to make sure that they do their part in working with you and making sure that every veteran, military personnel, and their family know what rights they've earned access to. And Ken Turner is here himself. I'm from the Deputy Secretary of Veteran Services as well. As we honor Tyler, I think he, first and foremost, would also want us to remember on this day Specialist Mitchell Daling of Dalton, Massachusetts, who was killed in action earlier this week in Afghanistan. So as we go about our business, not only today, but in the next few days and weeks, please make a special effort to keep his family in your thoughts and prayers. We owe a great debt of gratitude to the more than 1 million American patriots who have put country before self and sacrificed their lives so that we can continue to live free. We live in a greater and safer nation because of their dedication and devotion to life and liberty. And for younger generations, since we've seen that in a very vivid, real way since September 11th. And for those of us who know our history, those that served in World War II and Korea and Vietnam and the battles and conflicts since have all done their part in making sure we continue to remain safe. Those who pass through this roundabout will learn and remember Navy Petty Officer, Second Class Tyler Trahan, and the cause that he served for us, his service, sacrifice, and dedication to the nation. They'll remember an incredibly well-liked young man who was a third-generation serviceman and part of a family that is an integral part of this community and active in many ways. This is a special family, a Gold Star family that continues to inspire, as does Tyler's memory. So on behalf of Governor Patrick, the citizens of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, this is a special day because we remember a Massachusetts, an American hero, and celebrate his life and what he's done on our behalf from this day forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. I missed one person. I want to acknowledge the Freetown Town Administrator, Mr. Brown. Sorry, Richard.
At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce to you the Secretary of Transportation for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Mr. Richard Davey. Mr. Secretary.
Thank you. Well, on behalf of the Department of Transportation and my team who helped create this roundabout, I really have two messages today. First is to the family for fighting so hard for this roundabout. I know that what came before was a traffic nightmare. And so for fighting and pushing us at the state level to make this happen sometimes requires a little push. And so we appreciate that very much. We build a lot around the Commonwealth, but it's not often we get to name what we build on behalf of an American hero. And as the Lieutenant Governor said, we are humbled and I am honored on behalf of the 10,000 men and women who work at the Department of Transportation that you said yes to allow us to use your son's name here. It will be a living memory of the sacrifice, a fitting place to talk about freedom in Freetown, and we're just so honored that his name will endure at this roundabout forever. So thank you very much, and thank you for this wonderful day.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I also want to recognize from the City of Fall River, City Council member Mr. David Dennis. Thank you for being here. Now it's my pleasure to introduce to you, for a few words, our friend, Senator Michael Rodrigues. Senator.
Thank you very much. It is truly a privilege for me to be here today as we dedicate this roundabout in Tyler's name. It is truly a privilege for me to serve in the Massachusetts State Senate representing the community of Freetown. But I shall never forget that I don't have the honor of having this privilege were it not for the sacrifices of people like Tyler and those before him that gave the ultimate sacrifice to live in this greatest country in the world. So today I'd just like to say, may God bless the Trailer family, may God bless all of you in the audience, and may God bless the United States of America.
Thank you, Senator. I would like to introduce to you now State Representative Mr. Paul Schmidt for a few words. Representative Schmidt.
Mr. and Mrs. Trahan, Molly, I had not met your son, and brother, but since becoming state representative for East Freetown in January, I've heard so much about him, I feel that I did know him. And I want to read for him and for you some words that John F. Kennedy was to give later on that fateful day in Dallas in 1963. I've kept them with me for many years. He would have said, "We in this country, in this generation, are by destiny rather than by choice, the watchmen on the walls of world freedom. We ask, therefore, that we may be worthy of our power and our responsibility, that we may exercise our strength with wisdom and restraint, and that we may achieve in our time and for all time the ancient wisdom of peace on earth, goodwill toward men. That must always be our goal, and the righteousness of our cause must always underlie our strength. For as was written, except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh in vain." God bless you. God bless Freetown. God bless our country.
Thank you, Representative Schmidt. Next, representing the town of Freetown, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the Chairman of the Board of Selectmen, Mr. Paul Sadek.
Thank you, Dan. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank everyone who has come today to honor Tyler Trahan and his family. Maureen, Jean, and Wally know how much Tyler loved his country and loved being a Navy petty officer. Certainly they can be proud of his dedication and commitment to our country. And I would also like to thank everyone that has made this day possible. Certainly Dan covered everybody that's in attendance. And I'd like to thank all the people that are here for showing their support of the Trahan family. We all should reflect on our own freedom and not take it for granted. Without the men and women of our military, we would not be safe. We would not have freedom of speech. We would not be free to come and go as we please. We would not be able to enjoy the life that we know. Tyler understood what Americans have. He dedicated his life to keep us free, to protect us, and to protect our country. Let us not take this for granted. As we look at the Tyler Trahan Roundabout, look over to the left and you will see another monument, a monument which marks Veterans Square, dedicated to veterans that have served in prior conflicts and made the ultimate sacrifice. This area truly represents dedicated men and women who loved their country and understood the need for freedom, and let us never forget them. The roundabout has been open since November. It's very effective, keeping the traffic moving. Rush hour traffic no longer gets backed up. It has improved a very busy area. I would encourage everyone who passes through the roundabout to remember Tyler and all our veterans. Their service ensures our freedom. As you pass through the roundabout, it wouldn't hurt to say a prayer for them and for all our servicemen and women around the world who keep us safe day in and day out. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be part of this dedication to honor one of our own young men who gave his life to our country and for our freedom. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sadek. Now I'd like to start my comments and I apologize if I may repeat, by mentioning the banner behind me, which was made and donated to the town by the Freetown Girl Scouts, and was and is used each year in our 4th of July parade. I want to thank you, ladies, for that nice gift. As everyone knows, we're here today to dedicate this former intersection, which represents so very much to so many of us who have lived in this area of town. Not just because of the traffic reconfiguration, but also for those of us who have worn the uniform of our country, both in the past, today, and the future. We have no more than 40 feet away from our new roundabout, a memorial here in town dedicated to the last 3 men to give the ultimate sacrifice from this town, known to us all as Veterans Square. The stone that was placed there over 60 years ago was dedicated to the memory of the 3 men who were killed in action during World War II. They were Mr. Edward W. Ashley, Mr. Charles F. Hathaway, and Mr. Joseph Mullen, Jr. As a combat veteran myself, and as the town's veterans agent, I think it is only fitting that Tyler be remembered next to the men who he emulated by giving of his life for his community and his country. I'm sorry. This area now represents the last 4 men from many very different generations who gave of themselves and the ultimate sacrifice to share this piece of our town in perpetuity with all of us. My hope is that this era will remain as a reminder of how fragile life can be, and also be a symbol to our children and our children's children who travel through this area, whether on school buses, cars, bikes, or walk, that to live free in our country can come at a very high price, and that all of these types of memorials act as a reminder that freedom is not free, and that it comes at a very high price, for many men and women have given their all. My generation from the Vietnam War lived by the motto, all gave some gave all. 4 men represent those who gave their all. I have known the Trahan family my whole life because we are related. And I know that this dedication today means a very great deal to all of them. But for the citizenry, it represents yet another way for the state, the town, and the people of the Commonwealth to let them and all the families of those who have given so much for the freedoms we all know and enjoy today, that we as a town will never forget their sacrifices. Today, actually earlier this morning, here in Freetown, as well as across the Commonwealth and the nation, and at cemeteries around the world, myself, along with 24 men, women, and children, all volunteers, placed over 650 flags on every veteran's grave in more than 7 cemeteries that we have here in town. This was done as part of our commitment to never forget our veterans on this upcoming Memorial Day holiday. Tyler was dedicated to his family, the Navy, and his country. Long before he decided to join the Navy, this intersection in this neighborhood where he grew up was, for many of us who live here, a bone of contention. And because I am relatively new to the town of Freetown, having only lived right across the street for the past 30 years, and that's new in Freetown, and because its previous configuration, it had caused numerous accidents and many near misses. Many of us in town complained for many years about the situation, but none were as vocal and tenacious as our next speaker. Her tenacity, conviction, and dedication to see that this situation change makes the dedication of this roundabout very fitting. She was so driven that at one point she even ran for the position on the select board. Now, it is my extreme pleasure, and at this time, that I introduce to you, for some special words about Tyler, Tyler's mom, Tyler's dad, and Tyler's sister, Mr. and Mrs. Jean-Pierre, Maureen, and Molly Trahan.
I don't want to be repetitious, but some of this will be, I'll be repeating my cousin, but I want to thank and welcome from the bottom of my heart all of you. And I hope I don't forget anyone. If you guys stand at ease, please. You're making me nervous out there. I'd like to personally thank Lieutenant Governor Tim Murray and his staff, and say hello to your boss, Governor Deval Patrick, who attended my son's funeral. And you tell him that I love him, and he sat right next to me, and that was an honor. I'd like to recognize the Secretary of Transportation, Davies, Richard, Representative William Strauss, Chairman of the State Transportation Committee, Legal Affairs Officer Michael Versakis, Congressional Delegation Office of Mr. Kennedy, Keating, and Cowan, Senator Michael Rodrigues, State Representative David Sullivan, an old friend, State Representative Paul Schmidt, State Representative Nico All, Mary Jo Perry from District 5, Mass Highway, where I worked for 5 years, by the way. And then we go to the Board of Selectmen, Lisa Pacheco, and the Chairman of the Board, Paul Sadik. Board of Selectmen, Lee Baumgartner. Former Selectman Lawrence Ashley is here. I appreciate him coming because he was very helpful in getting this project started with me years ago. Former Selectman John Ashley. Former Selectman Gene Fox, who has been a great help. And I'll give her a hug after when nobody's looking. To put this thing together, wouldn't have done it without her. Former County Commissioner Carol Fiola. Town Administrator Richard Brown. Thank you, Richard. Highway Superintendent Chuck Macumber has really bent over backwards to make this roundabout look the way it does. Planning Board Chairman Kevin Dismaris was helpful with me years ago. Former Chairman of the Planning Board Jay Plissy, who's not here. And a special thanks to Police Chief Carlton Abbott for taking care of all the traffic, etc. And State Police Commander Lieutenant Doyle for letting me have Frank Ashley Jr. here by my side, who guided my son's body from Green Airport from Iraq. He was the lead state police car, and he did a great job, and I want to thank him personally for doing that. I'm almost done. All of the Navy EODs that are present here today, I don't have all your names, who fought with Tyler for the war on terrorism. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Lieutenant John Corky from Newport, thank you for organizing your guys to be here from the EOD squad. Master Chief Larry Wilski, retired Navy SEAL. He was responsible for building a building in Iraq, in Al Anbar, and there is a building standing in Iraq as we speak, named Trahan Hall, because of Master Chief Larry Wilski. And I want a special thanks to Lawrence Garnett from Professional Landscaping and his crew for beautifying that roundabout out there. And I want to thank Ralph Gurney for the great job he's done in Memorial Park, where my son has a stone. A special thanks to my cousin Gerard Gaudet, a Korean War veteran, for his generous donation. At a later date, Jerry's going to come forward and take care of a monument for my son Tyler. He worked for the Standard Time for 30 years, and he's a great guy. And I wonder if we can give him a round of applause. I appreciate it. I want to thank the contractors, LAL Construction, whom I had the pleasure of working with when I was with Tilcon, and the superintendent, Al Naversa, took a personal response in making this the way it is. And the state inspector for 25 years, I worked with him also when I worked for District 5 as a young engineer, Raven Raphael, who was the inspector on the job to make this job come out the way it did. And I want to thank David Romney, representing the Patriot Guard. And at this time, David, if you want to come up. Yeah, David here. chance, check the website, patriotguard.org, and you'll see a video of Tyler on there. It's also on YouTube. At this time, David's going to say a couple words.
This is Howard Shroot, State Captain, Patriot Guard Riders. I'm David Rumney, Mission Ride Captain today. And I'd like to present a plaque to Mr. and Mrs. Trahan, like that, and Molly. On behalf of a grateful America and the Patriot Guard Riders, please accept our sincere condolences on your tragic loss. May your pain be tempered by the knowledge that EDOD 2, Tyler J. Trahan, is a true American hero, and we all salute you. Thank you.
I'd like to recognize a friend of mine, I think he's here, who played in the NFL, Bobby Watkins, who was also with the Ohio State Buckeyes when they won the championship back in 1954. I don't know if Bob's here. He played professional football for the NFL from 55 to 60. Are you here, Bob? I want to thank Richard Padelford for giving me the opportunity and everyone here permission to use his property. And I want to also thank, these are a little bit out of order, Freetown Little League President, I think, Paul Canberra, for putting up the sign for Tyler down at the Little League field. I would also like to thank Mr. Aziz Jamal and his wife Peggy for the Birds of Paradise that they put out there on Tyler's 4th anniversary. And I want, last but not least, former Mayor Scott Lang. I appreciate you coming, Scott. Chris Gomes, Father Mathis, of course, Coach Matt Trahan, and Mr. Brown from Old Colony, former Representative George Rogers, Councilor Alves, and if I forget somebody, I'm sorry, but I'll send you an email. And most of all, I want to thank my wife and my daughter for putting up all my, nerves, and it's just a long story. Thank you very much. I'm all done.
I guess he's coming right towards me. Pull this up just a little bit. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for being here. For those of you who know, we stand here today on what is called Armed Forces Day. This is so appropriate for all of us to be here, to recognize what all the men and women do for our country, not only Tyler, but everyone who is willing to sacrifice and serve our country. So on this Armed Forces Day, I thank every one of you who serve our country. Welcome to all. To begin, please put your hand over your heart for a moment. Now may the words I'm about to say penetrate into the deepest part of your heart and touch you as Tyler was able to all the days of his life. Thank you. Just as a painter uses his brush to stroke a masterpiece, and a photographer uses his camera to capture the perfect shot, that will express the saying, "A picture is worth 1,000 words," I will try, as a writer, to use my pen to script the words deep in my heart, to express the feelings, the emotions, and understanding of what this dedication ceremony means to our family. I can only hope in this one moment that I fulfill all the expectations of my duty to enlighten and illuminate Tyler's life and the way he lived it. For those of you who know me, I can assure you, unlike the picture that's worth 1,000 words, this speech is not. On behalf of John, Tyler's dad, Molly, Tyler's sister, and myself, I say with love and gratitude, a heartfelt thank you to all who have been a part of this transformation. The dedication of this roundabout has so many symbolic meanings in choosing the direction you can take as you approach the 3 choices that lead to your destination. The symbolism of the Trinity can remind each of you that as you make a decision for the roads you choose, you will be guided by the love and hand of God to your destiny. Each road leading into this memorial are roads that Tyler's life traveled. I will do my best to touch upon and highlight that journey that he completed by speaking in terms of the roads of his life. North on County Road would be the beginning of Tyler's life. From that moment, on Long Pond, we would realize that our backyard needed to be fenced in, protecting him and Molly, but also allowing them to spend endless hours outside on Long Pond. We had the jungle gym in the yard. We had Molly's playpen and Tyler's toy box, the area filled with all the plastic toys all toddlers love to grow up with. Endless hours would be spent in the pool table room, building Legos and creative learning shared with all of us who would remark how clever Tyler seemed to be with every challenge he faced. I'll come back to this road in a bit, but now as time moved on, so too the road changed, and Tyler would enter preschool just down the road. For this would be the beginning of his education, social experiences in life. Heading west right down here on Chase Road, you don't go far from this point to where Tyler started his preschool days. Back then in 1988 and 89, Spindle City Preschool was located in the post office building. Here Tyler would attend classes each day with friends that we now know became classmates for his lifetime. Legos, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, Power Rangers, oh, and the principal's office. Yes, we did have to go to the principal's office while Tyler was in preschool, and that would be because Tyler was learning at a young age that if he picked the game on Sundays, the right game that won, he would receive a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle or Power Ranger. And he told all his friends that they should do that with their dad too. So the principal pulled us in the office for that one. Further down the road will lead you to the Freetown Elementary School, where Tyler would spend his kindergarten through 4th grade years, growing and sharing precious memories. Here is where all the experiences he began to develop a sense of himself, a pride for himself and his accomplishments and his achievements. Every day would start with the bottle of gel. The look. Little did we know that it was the start of the military look. 4th grade and Mr. Brooks was when Tyler would learn the lessons of teamwork. In a boot camp sort of fashion, Tyler learned the motto of helping others for all to achieve the one goal, letting the last be first, and no one ever left out. Caring was a lesson Tyler kept deep in his heart and showed others all the days of his life. Now back north on County Road, behind me, Tyler took to the Freetown Lakeville Middle School, where only one complex was built back then and housed the 5th through the 8th grade students. During these years of Tyler's life, we had so much going on, as all families do, with 10 to 14-year-old children. Friendships were bonding like cement, and again, Tyler was the one during these so tender years that included everyone in all the events that were taking place. Pop Warner football, paintball competitions, and the old potato gun explosions going on Long Pond. Oh yeah, that would be a brief glimpse into, again, Tyler's love of things to come in the EOD life of exploding things. Jet skis, power boats, girls over, so he could just get the chance to hear them screech and shout as he thundered around on Long Pond. Here at this time, he would also spend hours on Long Pond in his aluminum boat, the Prince Craft. Yes, I did say Prince Craft. Leaving the dock, and watching him go, I knew he was out for a day of adventure. And he would always return with a smile and a story of some great happening on Long Pond. This boat, the Prince Craft, again, would later be used as a tool for his training in Special Forces. When Tyler came home during this time, he would suit up in his diving gear and have me shadow him from our house across the pond to Lakeville, and then run home from the Worley's house down Mason Road back to our house, so that his Special Forces training was not in jeopardy. Speaking of Mason Road, that would be the road over to my left that Tyler would take to attend high school, Old Colony Regional Vocational High School. Mason Road would also lead him to our church, St. John Newman Church, where he would attend services and receive his baptism, his first communion, his confirmation, and his final blessing into eternity. The elementary and middle school years of Tyler's life would be blessed with all these milestones of faith and belief that God, our Father Almighty and Creator, was again guiding his life and reassuring Tyler in his decisions to reflect the image and likeness of all that is loving and good. Further down the road on Mason Road, heading east, Tyler's journey in life would lead him to the high school years. At 14 years old, though, Tyler had to have a meeting with the superintendent. He had not been accepted into the Old Colony School and needed to convince Dr. Flynn and promise him that if he got a seat in Old Colony, he would prove to him how great he could be. Tyler would go on to realize this realization that hard work and dedication would be the cornerstone of his years, making the football team and earning captain of the squad, designating and manufacturing the belfry on the North Rochester Congregational Church, with his carpentry quartet being inducted into the National Honor Society, were a few milestones that Tyler achieved. Here would also be the years Tyler developed the skills of carpentry, the bonding of friendships that solidified his teenage years, and the experiences of being the best, reaching the pinnacles of success. Tyler would graduate one of the top 10 in his class in the National Honor Society, and praised and proved to the superintendent, his family, and his friends that hard work does pay. With a little humor, I must add at this point, the gorilla suit. For those of you who know Tyler and the gorilla suit, you know that the gorilla suit was introduced in the high school years, because it was here that Tyler went out and bought this for the National Honor Society Reading to the Little Ones program. As we know, that suit traveled everywhere for every opportunity to lighten a moment. Little did we know it was preparing him to be suited up in the extremely hot conditions of an EOD in desert conditions. Even with the Navy, I'm told, Tyler used that gorilla suit for so many enlightening moments. Now south on County Road. Now destiny would lead Tyler to the places he would travel after graduation. The places no longer a boy travels, but a young man ready to fulfill his dreams and reach his highest goals, showing his fierce desire to achieve the limits that are as high as the heavens above. The warrior spirit of Tyler's soul could begin to emerge as each level of training showed him a new beginning and a new road to travel. Massachusetts Maritime Academy. Here Tyler would achieve excellence in his freshman class by being selected by the cadet officers as the top cadet in Company 6. This honor reflected Tyler's positive attitude and his unqualified support of the Academy. Company 6 surpassed the expectations of commanding officers and earned top honors in drill competition and the distinguished honor of the Admiral's Cup for their hard work and dedication. Tyler was honored at this ceremony with wearing a gold star above his name for his achievement. During this year, our house would become the stomping ground for so many cadets who Tyler would bring to Long Pond in Freetown, Massachusetts. As many of the young men far from home would share time with our family, the lasagna dinners and the antipasto became a ritual when Tyler would say a visit was soon to happen. Little did I know until after Tyler passed how much this touched so many of his cadet friends. Being a part of Tyler's group of bonded friendships he had through his years was so meaningful to these young men who many were on their own for the first time. Tyler would do the adventures like skydiving with these buddies, the beginning of the training to come with the Navy and the Special Forces Tyler would choose to serve under. This time would also be the pool table time, the competitions, and of course, the beer pong on the ping pong table. But who would it reveal was really the best? Tyler did not continue Mass Maritime because it was after spring of freshman year that he told us he had a burning desire to join and attend the United States Navy and the Great Lakes Recruit Training School in Illinois. He was passionate about his vision, and he knew he wanted to continue to commit himself to excellence and to serve our country and the United States of America, and the United States of America in the Navy. Our language changed this final period of Tyler's life. Like roadsides along the way, even his vocabulary would turn into something foreign that we all learned with Tyler's patience for repetition and don't you remember attitude, the world of acronyms, because his lingo no longer would things be simple to communicate. Everything had a new order. The alphabet would no longer be ABC. It now was Alpha, Bravo, and get to Foxtrot, you knew it had nothing to do with Dancing with the Stars. Through all of this, Tyler with his family and friends would always reassure us that he was loving every new door that was opening, every new trail that was blazing ahead of him, and every page that he was turning in his book of life. Reaching the highest level of excellence followed him here too. In the Great Lakes Training Division, 06-215, Tyler would achieve the highest accommodations, the distinction of excellence, and the satisfaction that he was the very best the Navy had trained. For this moment in time, Tyler would earn the Battle E flag in recognition of outstanding performance for his training, and the most prestigious CNO. There's that acronym. CNO for Chief of Naval Operations Honor Division. Also, he would earn Division RCPO and Division Honor Recruit. He was honored at this graduation with all these distinctions, and he was allowed to hold the Sword of Honor and Excellence. Tyler now had a choice to make: the Naval Academy in Annapolis or EOD Special Forces Training with Mobile Unit 12, SEAL Team 10, to become a soldier and a warrior to protect and defend our country. This special operations training, unlike any other, would be where training was only for the best. Those who could muster the challenges and those who would clear the way and render it safe for others. Tyler's choice on this road in his life would be one of the greatest and proudest moments. But unlike all that I knew about his other trainings, there would remain a confidentiality, and he would not share many things, knowing that Tyler would not want to risk the lives of his comrades in arm and battle. Tyler would say to me and our family, "Mom, if I told you what I knew, and you knew what I was doing, well, you know the rest." To say, writing all these words to give you a glimpse into Tyler's life here with us for 22 full years of memories has been an enormous challenge and an understatement, to say the least. So it is with the heaviest of heart that I try to express the conclusion to this speech. You see, as Tyler's mom, I can only hope these words reflect how Tyler lived his life. Using this memorial roundabout as a dedication to the life he lived and the ultimate sacrifice he made has cleared the road for all of you to see the impact one life can make for a family, a friend, a town, a community, and a country. Tyler's life has not concluded with the passing of his being here besides us. He will continue to live on through this memorial. His spirit and his passion for service to others will continue on through all of us. As we remember his brave and heroic actions to defend our country and our freedom that we live by we will reflect on the possibilities of our own lives having an impact. Tyler grew from a child to a youth, to a teenager, to a young man, with the hope and the desire to make a difference. His life was composed of a purpose and a passion to touch the lives of others and leave behind a legacy of love to one another. We remember today, during this dedication to Tyler, just what lessons one life can teach us. How a son, a brother, a nephew, a cousin, a friend, a classmate, a soldier, a warrior, can change the world and know that he touched each and every one of us. That was the tapestry of Tyler's life, filled with the roads that he chose to follow, stitching a pattern to intertwine his devotion to serve and his passion to love. From this day forward, let all those who pass through this memorial roundabout take pause with your choices of the roads you choose, and know that each one of those decisions is a reflection of the greatness inside of you. With love and the deepest of gratitude from my heart, thank you everyone for being a memorable part of this honor, the dedication of the Tyler John Trahan Memorial Roundabout. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, I'm Molly Trahan. In past events for Tyler, I always felt that I should speak. Both of my parents, for the past 4 years of events, would turn and look at me and motion towards a podium or a microphone. And every single time I would whisper, no, 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 thank you, no, no, no. Then, without fail, the microphone or speakers would squeak. I'd hear his voice in my head. Say something, you short little sissy! Well, this roundabout dedication seems like a suitable time for me to finally speak. Seeing that I spoke for Tyler for the first 3 years of his life, I guess it's only fitting that me keeping my mouth shut has now lasted for 4 years. Tyler was my first and best friend. We were so close in life that to this very day, I feel that our connection to each other will be infinite. I have the honor, the courage, and the strength to spread the light that always bursts from within him. As he is being honored today, I smile, knowing that he was and still is so proud of our town of Freetown and our state of Massachusetts. When he lived in Virginia Beach, he would call us, even when he lived in Florida, and say, hey, how's the weather up there? And we'd say, well, it's cloudy, kind of like it is now. Or, oh, it's raining. And he would say, well, that's Freetown, that's Massachusetts crying for me. And it did rain for the 2 months following his passing. Not only a military hero, Tyler is even more a light that will shine in us forever. Freetown will always be Tyler's home. So when you see or drive around this circle, please think of Tyler as infinite. And shine. Shine for him, shine for yourselves, and shine for each other. Thank you.
before I go on, I want to make sure that I recognize two more people who were responsible for a lot of where we are today. And I'm not sure whether John had mentioned former Selectman Larry Ashley, who's here, former Selectman John Ashley, who's here, and former Selectwoman Jean Fox, who's here. I personally want to thank Jean for a lot of her support in getting this thing pulled together. Now, at this time, I'd like to ask John, Maureen, and Molly, with the assistance of Lieutenant Governor Murray and Secretary Davey, to unveil the sign in memory of Tyler. And Mason Roads. All four signs now read Petty Officer Second Class, Tyler J. Trahan, Memorial Roundabout. This particular sign that has been unveiled will be placed back where it came from. And I have for the governor we have 3 replicas of the sign that'll be given by the governor to the family. Now the Navy Band. That you all please rise and uncover and ask Father Mathis to come forward for our closing prayer. Father Mathis.
So friends, let us ask the Lord's blessing on this roundabout, the Trahan family, all the families of those who have lost someone in combat or in warfare, and all those who have families of those who continue to serve. Save your servants, my God, who hope in you. Lord, send us your help. Strengthen us out of Zion. Be unto us a Lord, a tower of strength from the face of the enemy. Let not the enemy prevail against us, nor the son of iniquity have power to harm us. Blessed be the Lord daily, and may the God of our salvation make our way prosperous. Show us your ways, O Lord. Teach us your paths. O Lord, hear our prayer, and let our cry come out to you. May your holy angels accompany us in all of our travels around this roundabout, wherever we go, and be unto us, O Lord, a help when we go forward, a comfort by way, a shadow from the heat, a covering from the rain and the cold, a refuge in trouble. Please graciously hear our prayers for this blessing. Through your loving kindness, for you reign forever and ever.
Please join the Navy Band and our singers. Singing of God Bless America.
more than I expected. This is tremendous. Thank you all for being here today. Have a very nice Memorial Day holiday, and may God bless you all, and may God bless America. Thank you.